So one thing I wanted to showcase or talk about is how much the expanded universe really cared for, or rather, the Lucasfilm Story Group really cared for the expanded universe and legends throughout, because they really tried their best, and it's apparent, it's obvious how they tried to maintain continuity by having, for example, having comic book authors communicate with authors for the novels, and some of them delved into comic books stories and vice versa. So, like Kevin J. Anderson, for example. And it's obvious, like I said, that they really worked hard in maintaining or trying to maintain that continuity, because the communication, as we know, is key between authors. Because if there's so many authors, there has to be control as far as somebody overlooking that and making sure that they communicate and trying their best not to contradict events or important things that happen in a storyline. And yes, in Star Wars Legends, there are some contradictions, but I feel that it doesn't kill the story. It doesn't ruin it for me. It doesn't ruin the whole storyline, the whole myth that is the Star Wars Legends expanded universe. So, like I said, it's so obvious that they worked really hard in doing that, and it was so important to them that they actually provided reference books that really focused on information on the expanded universe and planets and events and characters and everything. So I understand now it's very convenient that whenever you want to look up something regarding expanded universe, it's so easy to look it up, and it's pretty much right at the palm of your hand. Anything. You have Wikipedia, you have so many other resources as well. However, with that, one thing that I appreciated was back in the day, Lucasfilm, in terms of Star Wars Expanded Universe, they provided reference books that really, it shows that they really cared for this storyline. And these reference books, it's obvious that they really cared for this story and wanted to provide information regarding, in one book, or in many books, you can say, by encyclopedias and essential guides and everything. So that's one thing I'm going to show. Turn the camera around. So this one here, starting with this one, A Guide to Star Wars Universe. I actually had previous versions. I believe the font was, or it had red, I remember that. But a long time ago, this one, I believe, was published in the year 2000, so 23 years old. And yeah, super old, but this was in the early, about 9 years in expanded universe. So gave us information on planets, characters, ships, the Force, battles, a lot of information. Cool book. I remember I don't know what I did with that other version, but this is the expanded one, a third edition. Forgot what edition I had. I believe I had the first one, but when I read it, that was the first time I read about how Palpatine was a senator. So remember, this was before when I read the first edition, that was before the prequels. So that was a huge surprise. This one I actually made a video on, so I'm not going to delve too much into it. It just concentrates on the books and the comics as far as like the authors and what took place. Brief information on the storylines, and yeah, just this one has to be one of my favorites for sure. Great book, and yes, I feel this is really an essential book to have. This talks about the Force, and it has great information on it by Ryder Wyndham. Essential Guide to the Force. This book is just so good. Such a great book. Beautiful artwork, and has a great timeline, and it talks about the Force, the dark side. It talks about the holocrons, the history of the Force. And so once again, this is not a review on these books. This is just showing you how much the story group really, really took care of the expanded universe back then by giving us these reference books and great, great guides. This is a essential guide to weapons and technology, lightsabers, just weapons overall. Pretty cool book. Chewie's bowcaster gives information down below on each weapon. I really, really love these reference books. This one here is the Essential Guide to Warfare. It talks about the battles throughout the Star Wars Legends history. Baron Fell. And the characters. Yeah, so this one concentrates on the wars, the conquest. Yeah, lots of information for sure. This one's pretty big. Daniel Wallace and Jason Fry, the Atlas, talks about the locations of the planets. This is cool. Really great guide here. Awesome guide. The population on the planets, the languages spoken, what species. Great book. Great book. This one, Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels. The ships, the vehicles, information. So once again, you can tell that a lot of work and a lot of research on the expanded universe, for sure. Essential Guide to Planets and Moons. Pretty much like, almost like the Atlas. Essential Guide to Characters. This one's in color. Fan favorite, I feel. From what he's one of my favorites too. Baron Fell. So very cool book. Not too much in depth, but just a cool book to have. You know, and to read a little bit about your favorite characters. And this is a previous one. Essential Guide to Characters. Forgot which, so let's check what year. This was in 1996 or 1995. Early stages of Star Wars Expanded Universe. And this one, I like this. This is a timeline, essential chronology, events, characters, things that happen throughout the Star Wars Legends timeline history. This is a first encyclopedia. Forgot when this was published. It has a cool intro by Timothy Zahn. But let's see if we can find. This was in 1998. So once again, early stages of Expanded Universe. But still, by this time, Expanded Universe was growing. So they made an encyclopedia with more and more characters. So this one's pretty big. It's a big book here for sure. So all legends. So afterwards, we received this one, the Complete Star Wars Encyclopedia. And this one, let's see. Okay, sorry for the shaky cam. So just to show you an example. So by the year, I believe this was, let's see, let's check. The year, publication, 2008. By this time, Expanded Universe was huge, huge. That they made a 3-volume set. Each one is the size, almost the size. Look at that. Even the font went really small because there's so much information here. So many characters, events, battles. It's pretty much all in one. So it's pretty much the size of the old one, and that's just 1 volume, and there's 3 volumes. So my point of this video is showing how Legends really, or Lucasfilm at that time, really tried their best to give us reference books to show how much the expanded universe, how large it was, how the expanded universe really outgrew the movies. Because the movies, yeah, there's 6 movies, and yes, that's pretty much the base of everything, but the home base of everything. But expanded universe really expanded the storyline and has many more, hundreds more characters than the movies, hundreds of events and locations and new planets. And this is, they wanted it to be organized. They gave us reference books. So this is just really cool EU material reference books. So just wanted to show you that, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it.